How's it going, guys? I'm Connor from Running Warehouse. Today I'm here with Danny Orr, the General Manager of Performance Running at New Balance, and we're diving in deep on a true workhorse. This is a go-to daily trainer. In my hand, we've got the 860 v12. Danny has the 880 v11, two workhorses, and they both have their own unique purposes in the line. Danny, can you give us a little bit of rundown on what is gonna make both of these shoes special?
Yeah, you know, I would almost start by saying that these might be our most important running shoes in our whole line. They serve the biggest consumer groups, and they really are these products that have become annuities in our business and have created a great following within the running industry based on the fact that they are, you know, two of the best go-to shoes out there. One of the biggest changes that we made in both of these shoes in the last 12 months is that we moved them onto the Freshform X platform. And I think that's done a great job of just increasing the runnability of this product. It's improved the initial step in, as well as the ability just to feel a little bit more comfortable over the length of the run. As you mentioned, this is the 880, and it is our go-to neutral shoe. In terms of the setup in relation to the midsole, we have that Freshform X component that runs on the bottom, and then we have a second fuel cell piece that sits just on top of that to provide, again, some initial uniqueness directly underneath the foot, and the benefit of the cushioning in the Freshform material and the ability of some of that energy return in terms of fuel cell in the forefoot. We've then used an engineered mesh upper, and I think the most important thing when it comes to the upper on both of these shoes is they just disappear when you're using them, right? They are as comfortable as they possibly can be. There's no additional pieces here that can cause any kind of irritation. We do have some engineering to ensure that there's the correct level of flexibility and breathability, particularly in the forefoot where you really need it, and then the optimum level of lockdown as you get to that saddle area on the 880. In terms of the 860, which you've got over there, the balance is flipped just a little bit, so we've moved the softness of Freshform directly underneath the foot that sits on the top bed of that midsole in the case of the 860, and then you've got the fuel cell piece that sits on the bottom. In addition to those two materials, you have a post that sits in the arch area, and it is a little bit more of a traditional setup. You know, we were talking about the Vongo earlier that has a more progressive solution. That is something that has that more traditional medial post, but it's something that is really tried and true and tested for that stability user, and it's something that we keep going back to because it is the best possible solution that we have for that type of runner. In relation to the upper, again, we've used a very similar engineered mesh pattern across both, maximizing breathability and then functionality where you need it. In the case of the 860, there's an additional embroidery element, and again, similar to the Vongo that we were talking about earlier, that additional technology in the upper is to provide the perfect lockdown, as it were, for that stability user at the beginning of a run, but then also almost more importantly towards the end or during their run when they might be feeling fatigued and their mechanics might not be as good as it might have been at the beginning. And we believe that embroidery technology does a fantastic job of supporting the foot throughout the course of the run.
Perfect, Danny. And I'm glad you brought up how important these are to the New Balance line because they truly are reliable workhorses, and they may not get quite as much glory as maybe, say, something like a Rebel V2 or an RC Elite.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I totally agree with you, right? And I think so often the innovation and the newness and the excitement in running is into these new products, as it should be. You know, they're so exciting to run in, and in many ways they're changing the face of performance running and getting new consumers in, which is obviously really exciting. But I think as you think about your shoes that you have and you think about having a suite of product for your training week or your training month, I don't think in any way would they diminish the importance of a shoe like an 880 or an 860. You know, when we're thinking about the amount of miles that we want to do and the amount of workouts that we have throughout the week, I still think you'll end up doing majority of consumers, should I say, will end up doing most of their miles in this tried and true and tested type product, and then spicing in something like a Rebel for tempo days or a RC Elite for race days and tempo days. So it's really nice having the range of solutions that you'd be talking about there, and I think in many ways this is the thing that almost might be the most important because it allows you to get to that other product and have the level of fitness you need to perform in the Rebels and the RC Elites of the world.
Well, the 880 v11, it's out now. 860 v12, the little bit more stable of the options, is going to be out very soon. If you're looking to get either of these shoes on your feet, they'll be available at runningwarehouse.com.